Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hello Dave. As many of you of course will know, last week I posted a video about how I am shutting down the channel here at the end of the year. I just want to start by saying a huge thank you to all you guys for the comments under that video. I was obviously very nervous prior to posting that because I didn't really know how people were going to react, but you guys have been so supportive and there were so many nice comments. It was just such a pleasure to read the comment section there, and also huge support for Cosmic Curiosity already. At the time of this recording, there's well over 1,000 of you that's decided to move over with me to Cosmic Curiosity. So I'm really looking forward to getting that channel up and running in the new year. But as I also said in that video, I want to try to pick up on some of the comments that you guys left, and also if there were questions about things I didn't really cover in that video, I want to try to cover those now. And again, if there are still questions or things, you can still post, and I'll try to do them in Hello Dave if there are still questions. One of the first questions that I didn't really cover in the video was people asked about the merch store, what's going to happen with that. Merch store is closing at the end of the year as well. That means if you have any DTEA merch you want, then your last chance is going to be at the end of the year. One of the most questioned or commented on things in the last video was probably the question why I don't stay on this channel and just rebrand this channel into a space channel rather than start up on a different channel. And there are three reasons, or three depending on which side of the pond you're on. There are three reasons why I've decided to make the move. This is obviously something I have considered. Now, reason number one is I want to avoid a situation where a new player starts playing Elite or start playing Star Citizen. They pick up some of my old videos. There are like 1,700 videos here of old guides and tutorials that's going to stay. They pick up some old videos, they see the old videos, maybe they watch a number of my videos from my back catalog and they say, hey, cool, nice channel, subscribe. What happens then is that suddenly their feed is filled up with real life space stuff, which was not really what they subscribed for. It's not an ideal situation, as all of a sudden you have people who think they get one thing, but they then get something else, and they can cause some clashes. I really wanted to avoid that situation. The second reason is that the transition from moving from doing one type of content to another is not to be underestimated. I've tried it when I moved from pretty much exclusively covering Elite to when I went over and also began to cover other things like Star Citizen. There, which I would consider that a small jump, going from one space simulator to another space simulator. It's a relatively small jump. It still took the YouTube algorithm, I think around 2 months or something, where I posted at least one Star Citizen video weekly before it began picking up and realizing, oh, this guy's actually doing Star Citizen now. And before the YouTube algorithm decided to begin to push the Star Citizen videos out to people who were interested in Star Citizen and not just to my usual Elite Dangerous crowd. Now, if I do the same transition, but this time, while still relatively close it from space simulator games to real life, it's still a longer jump. It's a larger change. So I'm also expecting that the transition for the algorithm is going to take a bit longer. There's going to be a lot of work in there. And as I said, it was 2 months before it just began picking it up. It took a lot longer before it felt at least like it was fully implemented. So that transition is not to be underestimated. And that's why I would rather go and reboot the channel where I already posted this type of content rather than try to rebrand this channel. And that's kind of the third point why I don't want to do that, is because a thing that I also mentioned in the video is this is uncharted territory for me. I'm trying something new here that I hopefully is going to like and going to enjoy. But I don't know if I in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, feel like, you know what, I miss making space games again. So if that happens, I basically want to keep that option open. I want to keep some doors open for myself. And I do that by leaving this channel like pure, if you will, so that I can always say, okay, the real life space stuff wasn't really what I wanted, and then I can always come back here. So I'm leaving that door open for myself to change my mind later by not making that transition, because as we talked about, that transition takes time. And if I already transitioned and began to hammer it into the YouTube algorithm that now I'm doing real life space content and I'm not posting games, if I then all of a sudden has to backtrack that transition back to where it came from, it's going to be a long process, and it could be something that could take years to get everything established again as it is. Those are some of the main reasons why I don't want to just rebrand this channel. Also because if I do make that rebrand, everybody on this channel that is subscribed and who is not interested in the real life space stuff is suddenly going to see just normal space stuff, real life space stuff being posted. They're going to go and unsubscribe. And that means that in the algorithm, when YouTube sees these new videos, what they will see is what I'm expecting at least, that people go in, they watch it, and then a lot of people will begin to unsubscribe, at least in the beginning, because suddenly they get some content they weren't used to, that they didn't really subscribe for. And that's going to, of course, again, hurt like hell in the YouTube algorithm. So simply just to work around the way the algorithm works, it's a better choice for me to just go and start up on a channel, even though it only has like, I think up to like 3,500 subscribers now over there. For those of you who comment about that, that's the kind of like train of thought that I had, and the reasoning why I've decided to make that move rather than just stay here and rebrand. There was another comment that I was thinking about. Somebody said that oh, but if I move into the real life space thing, there's going to be so much competition, and what new do I bring to the table? And that's a really, really good question. That's a really fair question, actually. And you're absolutely right. There's a lot of competition. There's also a lot of competition in the gaming space. I think gaming content is probably one of the most overserved areas in YouTube, like at all. so trust me, I know what it is to work in a like make videos about a topic that's already overserved. So what new do I bring to the table? What is it that I can do that's not already been done by 20 other people on YouTube? I think one of the first things is that I have a formal education in astrophysics. That means I've already dedicated 5 years of my life full-time to study astrophysics. Now, if you look at the amount of time I've been playing space games, I've been doing videos on it all part-time for 8 years. So realistically, I probably spent the same amount of time playing space games as I have studying astrophysics. So I have a really deep knowledge about the field. And added to that, the last 8 years of making guides and tutorials here on this channel has, I think myself, have made me a really good teacher. I think I can convey a difficult topic in a manner that everybody can understand, and that everybody can get something out of it, even if we're talking about something complicated like, I don't know, spin flip transitions in hydrogen and 21 centimeter emission lines or something like that. I'm pretty sure I could convey a very technical topic within astrophysics in a way that everybody could understand. And I hope that those two things combined means that I can make some content that's going to stand out. And as also said, I am planning to take some time off where I'm not making videos, and I'm going to use that to better myself, to be better at editing, to be better at animating, and really just try to lift the production quality of the videos that I make. And that also means that the frequency of how often I post is going to go down when I move over to Cosmic Curiosity, because I want to spend more time per video. I want to have higher production value videos than what I post here. Another comment I wanted to comment on was a lot of you guys talked about or asked me if I would consider maybe just reducing capacity here, or go over and start up on Cosmic Curiosity and then come back in some kind of reduced capacity or something like that. And I can't deny that will happen. As I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to explore this and see what happens. I do think that I'm going to be missing to doing the live streams, because that's something that I really enjoy, and it's something that's not very time consuming. So again, no promises, but I could see that live streams might be something I'm going to miss in the future. And so maybe I'll come back at some point and then just do the live streams. We'll see what happens. But to begin with, at least, I'm going to be focusing 100% on Cosmic Curiosity. Enough about that. Let's move over to some of the actual gaming news that we are here to talk about. First of all, Elite Dangerous. There is spooky times in Elite Dangerous. As is now tradition, Frontier is hosting their yearly Halloween spooky event in the game, and you can now go and start the event up now if you want to. When you log into the game, you will be greeted by a message that will direct you towards a system. And from there is a number of different things you need to find and logs you can find, and that will tell a story. And if you did it last year, I think it follows a lot of the same like overall principles, that there's a developing story, that you follow this story, and it's kind of a mystery going on, and it's spooky and scary. And then there's a reward for you at the end of the story with something that you can pick up and keep for yourself. So if you haven't already been in and done the event, then you can go and do that now. Not a lot has really happened in Star Citizen the last week. I mean, after CitizenCon, they've taken a slow week. Can't really blame them for that. Live stream tomorrow. First of all, remember that daylight saving has changed, at least here in Denmark. And that means that where it usually would be 7 o'clock GMT, because daylight saving has changed, it's now 8 o'clock GMT. But the live stream will still be here on YouTube, and the topic for tomorrow's live stream is that we are going to be looting some salvage in Star Citizen. We're not actually going to do salvage, we're just going to go and loot some very valuable cargo and make hopefully a bunch of cash, or get blown up by pirates. Either is a very likely option. We'll see what happens. It's all going to be live streamed here on the channel tomorrow at 8 o'clock GMT. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys in space.